My beloved, there are many small things in life that may seem insignificant, but they carry spiritual weight and open doors either to blessing or to trouble. What you allow in your environment, especially in the place where you lay your head to rest, can affect your destiny. The bed is not just a piece of furniture. It is the altar of rest, the place where your mind is renewed and where your spirit is refreshed. That is why you must be careful never to allow things that carry negative energy, destructive meaning, or unclean symbolism to rest upon it. When you treat your bed carelessly, you invite confusion, lack, and weakness into your life. But when you honor it as a place of peace and holiness, you attract prosperity, healing, and strength. There are objects that represent disorder, heaviness, or even curses. When they sit upon your bed, they invite poverty and sickness, even though you may not realize it. A bed is not meant for clutter, unpaid bills, dirty clothes, or tools of conflict. Some people sleep next to bitterness in the form of angry letters, overdue debts, or negative words written against them. Others keep reminders of failure, things they have outgrown but refuse to let go of. These items breathe out the wrong spirit and weigh down your dreams. You may go to sleep tired and wake up tired, because what surrounds you is not peace but burden. Never put these things upon your bed. Instead, your resting place should be filled with symbols of life, faith, and hope. A clean pillow, a folded blanket, and the atmosphere of prayer invite the presence of God to cover you as you sleep. When your bed is filled with cleanliness, you will dream of new opportunities. When your heart is at peace before sleep, you will wake up refreshed with strength to conquer the day. A person who sleeps among clutter wakes up confused, but a person who sleeps in order and peace wakes up with vision. Poverty does not begin in your wallet, it begins in your spirit. Sickness does not begin in your body, it begins in your atmosphere. If your environment is dark, heavy, and disorderly, it slowly drains your energy and kills your creativity. But when your environment is filled with light, purity, and thanksgiving, it nourishes your spirit and attracts divine provision. That is why it is written that God gives His beloved sleep. Sleep is not a small matter, it is a gift. And how you guard that gift determines how much blessing you carry in your waking hours. When you refuse to put disorder, bitterness, and unclean things on your bed, you are making a declaration: I choose life. I choose blessing. I choose peace. Your bed becomes a place of covenant between you and heaven. Each night as you rest, angels stand watch, and in the morning you rise renewed to face challenges with wisdom and courage. The poverty that once chased you cannot enter, because peace is your guard. The sickness that once tried to touch you cannot remain, because healing flows through your rest. Beloved, guard your bed, honor your resting place, and you will see prosperity and health flow into your life. Your bed is more than a simple piece of furniture where you lay your head at night. It is the sacred space where your body, mind, and soul find rest and renewal. When you finish your day and withdraw from the noise of life, it is the bed that receives you, and in that moment, it becomes a place of spiritual significance. To guard your bed as a sacred place is to understand that it holds a deeper purpose than sleep alone. It is the chamber where peace is restored, strength is renewed, and your spirit aligns itself for the battles and blessings of tomorrow. If you treat it with carelessness, you dishonor the place where God desires to refresh you. But when you guard it with reverence, it becomes a sanctuary of life, healing, and abundance. Think for a moment how powerful rest truly is. No matter how strong or determined a person may be, if they lack proper rest, their strength diminishes, their clarity fades, and their body weakens. A tired spirit is more vulnerable to doubt, fear, and even despair. But when rest is honored, when your bed is treated as a holy space, you wake up with the energy to believe again, to fight again, and to create again. That is why your bed must not be treated like a table for clutter, a place for arguments, or a dumping ground for burdens. When you bring such things onto your bed, you are allowing your sacred place of renewal to be contaminated by the weight of the world. Guarding your bed means being intentional with what surrounds it and what you allow upon it. Just as a king guards his throne and does not let anything unworthy touch it, so should you treat your bed with dignity. You do not place unpaid bills on it, because that invites the spirit of debt into your sleep. You do not leave dirty clothes upon it, because that speaks of neglect and disorder. You do not carry anger and conflict into it, because such things invite unrest and sickness into your spirit. Instead, your bed should be a place where only peace dwells. Your pillow should carry prayers, your sheets should reflect cleanliness, and your atmosphere should carry the fragrance of gratitude. Consider how even in Scripture, rest was always tied to God's presence. He caused Adam to fall into deep sleep before creating his greatest blessing. Jacob dreamed of a ladder to heaven as he lay his head down, and in that moment he saw angels ascending and descending. Joseph received divine direction through dreams in the night. These are not coincidences. They are reminders that the bed, the place of rest, is a sacred doorway through which God communicates, refreshes, and positions His children. If you treat your bed lightly, you may block the channel of blessing that was meant to flow into your life during rest. But if you guard it with reverence, you create an atmosphere where visions, healing, and renewal can be received. Guarding your bed also requires guarding your spirit before you lie down. What you carry into your rest will follow you into your dreams and into your tomorrow. If you go to bed with bitterness, anger, or fear, you will rise with heaviness. But if you enter your rest with forgiveness, thanksgiving, and faith, you will rise with strength. That is why you must not only keep your bed clean physically, but also spiritually. Whisper a prayer before you close your eyes, release your burdens, and let peace cover you. In this way, your bed becomes a holy ground where you are recharged and prepared for greater victories. To guard your bed as a sacred place of rest and renewal is to understand that every night, God is giving you a gift, a fresh start, a moment of healing, and a touch of His presence. If you honor this gift, you will find yourself rising each morning not just refreshed in body but empowered in spirit to prosper and to walk in health. Never placing clutter, debt, or symbols of negativity on your bed is more than a practical instruction. It is a spiritual principle that determines the atmosphere of your life. Your bed is where you release the weight of the day, where your body heals, and where your spirit regains vision. But if you allow it to be covered with reminders of chaos, unfinished obligations, or negativity, then instead of rest, you invite disturbance. What you surround yourself with in your most vulnerable state will either lift you up or pull you down. The things you allow on your bed are not just objects. They are carriers of meaning, and they influence the environment of your rest. Clutter represents disorder. When you pile unnecessary items, clothes, gadgets, or random things onto your bed, you are sending a message to your subconscious that your life is out of balance. Disorder on the outside creates disorder on the inside. You may think it is harmless to toss things around, but over time, it conditions your spirit to accept confusion as normal. A cluttered bed robs you of the peace you desperately need in your sleep. Instead of waking up refreshed, you wake up heavy, because your mind has been surrounded by disarray. When you refuse to allow clutter on your bed, you are declaring that order belongs in your life, that peace has the final say, and that nothing unnecessary will rob you of your calm. Debt is another heavy presence that has no place on your bed. Some people leave unpaid bills, notices, or reminders of financial lack on the very place where they should be resting. This practice is dangerous, because it allows the spirit of poverty to invade your rest. When you sleep with reminders of debt near you, it is as though you are lying down with chains around your neck. Instead of dreaming of solutions, your mind is chained to fear and lack. Never allow debt to sleep with you. Your bed must not be a table for worry but a sanctuary for faith. When you remove the symbols of debt from your bed, you open space for divine provision and creative ideas to flow into your dreams. Negativity comes in many forms. It may be objects tied to past failures, letters of rejection, photographs that stir up pain, or even books and media that carry dark, hopeless messages. Some even lie down with devices filled with toxic content that pollutes their mind right before sleep. Bringing these into your bed is like inviting darkness into the most intimate space of your life. Your bed should not be a platform for the world's negativity, but a sanctuary of hope. What you allow near you in your sleep has the power to shape your thoughts, your mood, and even your health. Instead of clutter, fill your environment with simplicity and order. Instead of debt, Fill your heart with faith that provision is on its way. Instead of negativity, fill your spirit with words of life and images of hope. Place nothing on your bed that brings heaviness, but rather let it carry the fragrance of peace. A clean bed is not just about hygiene. It is about creating a space where your spirit can breathe freely. By refusing to put clutter, debt, and negativity on your bed, you are making a bold spiritual declaration. You are saying, I choose peace over chaos, abundance over lack, and joy over sorrow. This choice reshapes your nights and transforms your days. Your dreams become clearer, your mornings brighter, and your journey lighter. The bed is the altar of rest, and what you place on it either invites angels of peace or burdens of destruction. When you guard it carefully, you will see prosperity, healing, and breakthrough flow into your life. Poverty and sickness often do not begin with the outward circumstances that people see. They are rooted in hidden doors that we unknowingly open through disorder and careless habits. What many fail to understand is that the physical environment around you shapes the spiritual environment within you. The little habits you neglect, the disarray you tolerate, and the carelessness you permit can all create an atmosphere that attracts lack, weakness, and frustration. Poverty does not simply come because of the absence of money, nor does sickness come merely because of physical exposure. They are often invited through lifestyles that give place to heaviness, chaos, and imbalance. Disorder on your bed, in your home, and in your spirit is a silent invitation to the forces of destruction. When you live with disorder, you are silently declaring that confusion is acceptable. A cluttered bed, a messy room, or a chaotic schedule may seem minor, but these small patterns condition your heart to live beneath your potential. Disorder drains focus, scatters vision, and causes wasted energy. Poverty thrives in such an atmosphere because when you are distracted and overwhelmed by confusion, you cannot clearly see opportunities or embrace discipline. Sickness also feeds on disorder because a body and mind surrounded by chaos remain under constant stress. Stress weakens the immune system, steals sleep, and opens the door to disease. The enemy uses these open gates to plant seeds of despair, and little by little, a person finds themselves trapped in cycles of lack and illness. Careless habits are another hidden enemy. When people neglect the sanctity of their resting place by piling bills, dirty clothes, and unresolved burdens onto their bed, they bring the troubles of the day into the very space meant for restoration. Instead of treating the bed as a holy place for renewal, they reduce it to a dumping ground for their anxieties. This careless act might seem harmless, but it carries weight. Rest becomes restless, dreams become troubled, and mornings become heavy. Over time, this careless habit conditions the soul to live in defeat. Poverty follows because energy is drained, ideas are blocked, and opportunities slip by unnoticed. Sickness follows because the body is robbed of true rest and cannot repair itself as designed. The truth is that your habits form the atmosphere of your destiny. Poverty and sickness cannot dominate a person who walks in order, discipline, and intentional care. When you keep your bed and your environment in alignment with peace, you are declaring war against lack and weakness. Cleanliness, order, and mindfulness are not just outward practices. They are inward disciplines that keep your spirit sharp and your heart ready to receive divine provision. When your resting place is free of disorder, your mind is free to dream bigger, your body is free to heal deeper, and your spirit is free to soar higher. Every careless act has a spiritual consequence. Sleeping among clutter may block your clarity, and going to bed surrounded by negativity may steal your hope. But every intentional act of guarding your rest has a divine reward. By honoring the space where you sleep, you are positioning yourself to attract health, strength, and prosperity. Disorder and careless habits push away blessings, but order and intentionality pull them close. Poverty and sickness are not stronger than you. They are only empowered by the doors you leave open. Close the doors of disorder, refuse the invitations of careless living, and you will see those forces lose their grip on your life. Your bed, your environment, and your habits are prophetic declarations of what you expect. If you treat them lightly, you attract loss. But if you treat them with reverence, you attract life, healing, and abundance. Guard your habits, embrace order, and you will discover that prosperity and health are not distant dreams, but present realities flowing into your life each day. Keeping your resting place clean, peaceful, and prayerful is not simply a matter of comfort. It is a spiritual discipline that affects every part of your life. The atmosphere where you sleep influences the state of your heart, your thoughts, and even your physical health. When your bed is clean, your mind feels lighter. When your room is peaceful, your spirit calms down. When your environment is prayerful, you create a gateway for divine presence to rest upon you. Many people underestimate the power of atmosphere, yet it is the unseen environment that shapes both your nights and your days. A person who lies down in clutter, noise, and heaviness often wakes up drained, but the one who sleeps in a place filled with purity, calmness, and prayer rises with new vision and energy. Cleanliness is the first key to a healthy and prosperous resting place. Dirt, clutter, and disorder do not only affect the body, they affect the spirit. A dirty room sends a message of neglect, and neglect often spreads into other areas of life. When your bed is clean and your environment tidy, you are declaring that order belongs in your life. A clean space produces a clear mind. It allows you to sleep without distraction and rise without stress. Cleanliness may seem like a small habit, but it is actually a shield against laziness, confusion, and even despair. Prosperity flows where there is order, because order creates the foundation for growth. Peace is another vital element. Your resting place must be guarded from arguments, constant noise, or the presence of conflict. Many homes are filled with tension, and that tension seeps into the place of rest. When you go to bed with unresolved strife or a stormy atmosphere, your spirit cannot find true rest. Your body may lie down, but your soul remains restless. A peaceful environment, however, allows your heart to release the burdens of the day. It allows your mind to breathe and your body to heal. Peace is not automatic, it must be cultivated. That means letting go of offenses, refusing to carry bitterness into your bedroom, and choosing to surround yourself with words and sounds that calm the soul. When peace rules your resting place, sickness loses its grip and poverty loses its invitation, because both thrive in chaos, not in calmness. A prayerful atmosphere completes the foundation of a powerful resting place. Prayer changes an ordinary bed into a sacred altar. When you whisper prayers before sleep, you invite divine presence to cover you through the night. Prayer sets angels on guard, clears away negative energy, and positions your spirit to receive visions, solutions, and encouragement while you rest. Many breakthroughs are born in dreams, and many directions are revealed in the stillness of night. But these only flow in an atmosphere that is saturated with prayer. Even simple prayers of thanksgiving before lying down can shift the environment, transforming your bed into a place where healing flows and strength is renewed. To keep your resting place clean, peaceful, and prayerful is to take responsibility for the unseen battles of your life. It is to declare that your nights will not be stolen by worry, your health will not be drained by stress, and your prosperity will not be blocked by confusion. Each night, your bed can either be a battlefield or a sanctuary. If you allow filth, conflict, and prayerlessness to dwell there, it becomes a battlefield where poverty and sickness have the advantage. But if you guard it with cleanliness, fill it with peace, and saturate it with prayer, it becomes a sanctuary where your spirit is renewed, your dreams are sanctified, and your future is blessed. Your resting place is not just where you sleep, it is where your destiny is sharpened in the silence of the night. The discipline of keeping it clean, peaceful, and prayerful will not only change the quality of your sleep, but also the quality of your life. Each night becomes a moment of renewal, and each morning a step into greater strength, vision, and abundance. Sleep is not merely a physical necessity, it is a divine gift that strengthens your spirit for prosperity. Every night when you close your eyes, heaven has designed that time to restore your body, refresh your mind, and recharge your inner being. Sleep is one of the greatest tools given to mankind, and yet it is often taken for granted. It is in those quiet hours of rest that your body repairs what was broken, your mind processes what it has learned, and your spirit receives strength for what lies ahead. To see sleep as a divine gift is to value it, to protect it, and to enter it with the right atmosphere so that its power can fully work in your life. When you honor sleep, you are honoring the process of renewal. Think about it. No matter how hard you work, how strong you may feel, or how determined you are, without sleep your energy fades, your focus weakens, and your body begins to collapse. This is because sleep was divinely designed to be the wellspring of your strength. While the world sleeps, heaven is busy healing, building, and restoring those who rest. Sleep is not wasted time, it is invested time. A person who sleeps well wakes up with greater creativity, sharper wisdom, and a heart ready to embrace opportunities. Prosperity comes easier to the one who is refreshed, because they can think clearly, make wise decisions, and seize the doors that God opens. Sadly, many people sabotage the gift of sleep. They fill their nights with worry, scrolling endlessly through distractions, or carrying unresolved burdens into their bed. As a result, the body lies down but the spirit remains restless. Instead of waking up with energy, they rise with heaviness. This cycle slowly steals their prosperity, because it robs them of clarity, vision, and strength. Others allow their sleeping place to be filled with clutter, negativity, or symbols of fear, turning what should be a sanctuary into a prison. They fail to realize that sleep is not just physical, it is deeply spiritual. When you misuse or dishonor it, you block the blessing it was meant to bring. To treat sleep as a divine gift means entering it with expectation. Before you close your eyes, release your worries into God's hands. Speak peace over your mind, and thank Him for the day. This simple act transforms your sleep from an unconscious routine into a holy encounter. Many of the greatest revelations, ideas, and solutions come in the stillness of night when the spirit is at peace. Dreams can carry direction, visions can be revealed, and answers can flow when you sleep in faith rather than in fear. In that state, your spirit is not just resting, it is receiving. The strength you need for prosperity does not only come from hard work during the day, but also from the quality of rest you receive at night. A tired worker cannot build wealth, but a refreshed worker carries power in everything they do. A sick body cannot carry abundance, but a healed body can walk into opportunities with endurance. Prosperity requires wisdom, energy, and clarity, and all three are sharpened in the gift of sleep. That is why protecting your sleep is as important as protecting your work. Both are tools God uses to shape your destiny. When you view sleep as a divine gift, you stop treating it carelessly. You begin to guard your environment, remove distractions, and welcome peace into your resting place. You see your bed not as a common object, but as a sacred altar where renewal flows. You go to sleep not with fear but with faith, not with chaos but with calm, and not with worry but with worship. In return, you wake up with a spirit strong enough to attract prosperity, a body renewed to walk in health, and a mind clear enough to recognize opportunities. Sleep, when honored, becomes one of the most powerful keys to living in blessing and abundance. A pure atmosphere invites healing, blessing, and angelic protection, and this truth cannot be taken lightly. The unseen environment around you has as much influence on your life as the visible one. When your atmosphere is filled with purity, peace, and faith, it becomes a channel through which heaven's resources flow freely into your life. But when the atmosphere is polluted with negativity, bitterness, or disorder, it becomes a barrier that blocks blessings and even invites weakness. Your atmosphere is a spiritual magnet. It either attracts the presence of God and His angels, or it attracts confusion, poverty, and sickness. That is why guarding your atmosphere, especially in your place of rest, is one of the most important spiritual disciplines you can practice. Healing often flows in silence, peace, and purity. Doctors may prescribe medicine, and the body may follow natural processes, but true healing requires an atmosphere where the spirit can rest. If you surround yourself with noise, clutter, and unresolved tension, your body struggles to recover because your soul cannot find peace. A pure atmosphere, however, allows healing to accelerate. Clean air, clean surroundings, and clean thoughts create space for the body to mend and the spirit to breathe. Many breakthroughs in health come not only from medical treatment, but also from an environment that welcomes wholeness. When your resting place is pure, the healing presence of God has room to move. Blessing, too, is attracted by purity. Prosperity is not just a matter of work or effort. It is also the fruit of alignment with divine principles. A polluted atmosphere creates delay, while a pure one creates flow. When your environment is clean, peaceful, And free of negative energy, ideas come easier, decisions are clearer, and doors open more quickly. Prosperity requires clarity, and clarity cannot be born in confusion. That is why some people, despite working hard, still feel stuck. They are living in an atmosphere that blocks blessing. But the moment they choose to purify their surroundings and their spirit, blessings begin to manifest, because the atmosphere now agrees with heaven's order. A pure atmosphere says to God, I am ready for what you want to send. Angelic protection is also tied to the purity of atmosphere. Angels are messengers of light, and they thrive in environments where holiness, peace, and gratitude are present. When you fill your space with prayer, worship, and clean living, you are creating a dwelling place that invites angelic presence. They watch over you as you sleep, guard you from unseen attacks, and minister strength to you as you rest. But when the atmosphere is filled with strife, filth, or negativity, you are inviting the opposite forces to dwell near you. Darkness looks for chaos, while light looks for purity. If you want to live under the shield of angelic protection, you must build an atmosphere that welcomes them. Purity in atmosphere is not only about the physical space, it is also about the condition of the heart. You may have a spotless room, yet carry bitterness, fear, and anger within. That inner pollution can still block healing, delay blessing, and reduce protection. Purity must begin inside, flowing out into your surroundings. A heart filled with forgiveness, gratitude, and faith creates an atmosphere of light, and that light fills the room wherever you go. When your inner world is clean, your outer world reflects it, and together they create a shield of favor around your life. The truth is simple: whatever atmosphere you cultivate, you will live in the fruit of it. A polluted environment attracts sickness, poverty, and confusion, but a pure one invites healing, blessing, and angelic protection. You hold the power to choose which atmosphere governs your life. By cleansing your space, aligning your heart, and filling your environment with prayer and peace, you position yourself under heaven's covering. In such an atmosphere, miracles can happen while you sleep, solutions can come without striving, and protection surrounds you like a shield. A pure atmosphere is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who desires to walk in health, abundance, and divine safety. When you honor your bed and your resting place as a sacred space, you are not just taking care of furniture or habits, you are shaping your destiny. Poverty and sickness often find their way into lives through open doors of disorder, clutter, and neglect, but prosperity and health are attracted through peace, cleanliness, and prayer. Sleep is a divine gift, a holy moment of renewal, and when your atmosphere is pure, you invite healing, blessing, and angelic protection. Every choice you make about your environment is a declaration of the life you expect to live. If you choose order, peace, and prayerfulness, you choose abundance, strength, and victory.